Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. I always start singing way before you guys are able to connect to the audio and hear me. It's really good though, because then I get all of my very loud, assaultive singing out before you can hear me. Hello and welcome. Oh my goodness. So excited to chat with you all today. Hello, 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 and welcome. Um, as we are hopping on, tell me how you're doing. Oh, you're muted.
I said it's my daughter's birthday.
Oh, yay! Which one?
Yeah. My middle. She turns 9.
Aw, what are your plans?
Pretty low key. We're still, she's actually gone back to school, but now I've had my oldest, her school shut down. So we've been doing virtual with her. So we're still not doing like a party yet or anything. So just grandparents over, dinner and cake.
That's some of those are the best ones though, sometimes. That's great. That's great.
You, how are you doing?
Good. I'm great. I'm really excited to talk to you all today and to hear how you're doing. And last week we didn't get to all the revenue chit chat that we're going to do today. So today we're going to talk about closing the gap um, between your revenue now and what you want to be making and creating based on a price increase. And so even if you're not in the position where you're like, I need to make some money right now if I'm, jumping prices up, this is going to still help you create other sources of revenue and income so that you're not 100% dependent on shooting. Being 100% dependent on shooting for your entire business, we learned from COVID and beyond that is just not a sustainable business model, and I just don't think it's as fun. So I would love to see you all create other sources of revenue and income rather than just only depending on shooting to not only give yourselves more of a buffer and sustainability over your business over the long term, but also to really create, like, we are in an unprecedented time in history where like you can just hop on the internet and make money. It is the coolest thing in the world. So I want to see you all take advantage of that. For the money aspect, like that's a fun part, but also for the impact and for the expression of your gifts and talents that we all desperately need. Like I never cease to be amazed at how diverse and incredible your gifts are, and also honestly at how much of a small percentage we're utilizing those in our businesses to make money for ourselves and for our families, but also to create value for other people and to see them blossom and thrive and grow under our with the help of our offers, whatever those might be. So whether you are needing to make some money right now or you want to just give yourself a better, more sustainable and more well-rounded business, this topic today is so exciting. So I am going to share some slides with you all. And as we work through these um, these topics today, I really recommend like getting out a journal or a piece of paper because a lot of these are not going to be answers that I can necessarily give you. Um, it's going to be things that only you can really know. So let's talk about making money right now. If you are in a position when you're like, listen, I need money right this second, just well, I won't ask you to throw a number in the chat if you don't want to, but if you feel comfy just being like, yep, that's me, let me know. That would be helpful. But thinking differently does not cost any more. And I think that's the best news ever because you don't have to um, spend a lot of money or anything to make a lot of money. So First thing that I want to recommend is that you think of yourself as, we have talked about this balance that we're both artists and service providers. And making money as an artist is a little bit different in my experience than making money as a service provider, in that when you're in this service provider mindset, you're really thinking about how can I serve people and like what do they need help with? What do they need me for? And when I'm in personally, when I'm in like more of my artist mindset, I'm just thinking about like what do I want to create? What do I want to make? And hopefully that helps people on the back end, but it's sort of like a reverse process. Like artist is sort of me first, what do I want? And then it helps people on the back end. Service provider is what do other people want? And then it helps me on the back end. Either that's in the form of money or it's in the form of just energy and learning and growing myself, any of those things. So the best and easiest way, the thing to do, just ask people what they're struggling with and how you can help. You can do this via email. That is a great way, like just a survey via Google Forms on an email to your email list, especially if you're like, I don't know, I have this email list now. What am I supposed to be sending to them every week? Send them a cute little survey that's like, hey, I'm just thinking about you and wanting to get to know you better. What are you struggling with and how can I help? One question survey. That's it. So super easy. You can easily do this on Instagram as well. Just pull on Instagram. Hey, just thinking about you at all and wanting to be there for you, and I'm curious, how can I support you? Because people know that you're a photographer. They're not going to be like, I just hate my life and I really need a therapist, whatever. Like, they're not going to come to you with totally irrelevant struggles, most likely. And if they do, it might be because you've shared something that lets them know that you're a safe space for that. But this first step is really illuminating. Even if you feel like, I already know what people are going to say, I already know what they're struggling with because they tell me all the time, or I just think I know. It's really illuminating to just ask people, what are you struggling with and how can I help? So after you've done that, we are going to talk about like creating your own offers and things like that. But another great way to make some money right now is through affiliate sales, because it's zero additional work for you except just talking about something that you already love. Now, of course, you need to make sure that this is aligned with your brand. Like, even if you love a certain Tupperware brand, like maybe you're not going to go there and share about that Tupperware as an affiliate unless that is aligned with your brand values. So if you're like, I don't know what my brand values are, think back to that question that we were asking at the retreat about if you could not sell anything and you could only sell ideas. If you could not sell anything, any product, any service, anything, you were only selling ideas. What ideas would you want to sell? What ideas would be important for you to disseminate? If that was the only purpose of your business, was to spread ideas, what ideas would you want to sell? I like want to see you all writing this down because that's like so key. But maybe you already know. And when you're thinking about affiliate sales or partnerships or collaborations or anything of that nature, just make sure that it aligns with whatever ideas you want your brand as a whole to disseminate and to get out there. I had a better word in mind, but it left me. You all can be an affiliate for the Love Soaked course. I'll drop all the details and the video of how to get set up as an affiliate. It's very simple for the Love Soaked course. If you want to share about that, you get $50 for every sale that you make. And I would love to have any and all of you as an affiliate for the course if you would like to be. But anything else that you love and use, you can reach out and ask to be an affiliate, ask about their affiliate program. So if you have, a lot of you probably do have other photographers in your circle of influence and in your sphere. And I would encourage you to make a conscious decision about whether you talk to other photographers or not. Because I think a lot of photographers sort of do this as a default, like we just get in our own sort of jargony world and we talk to other photographers, and so that's who shows up in our audiences, and that's totally fine. if that's the way you want to go, I just want you to make a conscious decision. Do I talk to other photographers, or do I talk to sort of moms, dads, parents, people that are going to hire me? A really good clue as to maybe like a starting point as to what does, if you don't have an immediate like, yes, I do this, no, I don't want to do this, a good starting point would be who has hired you in the past. Are other photographers hiring you right now at this point, or is it a lot of just families that love your work? And if you've had other photographers hire you in the past, that's a good clue that you have a a bigger ripple of other photographers that are in your audience. If not, then you can for sure just speak to a general audience of families, parents. But literally anything else that you love and use, you can reach out and ask to be an affiliate. So I would definitely consider that. And you can start from that list of just what do I love and use, but you can also start from a list of what are those ideas that I really want to disseminate through my brand, and what other brands really also align with those values as well. So maybe it's a particular photo like album company that stands for something that you really support. Maybe it's it can even be like a particular nonprofit or charity that you are really behind ideologically that you would like to reach out and ask to be in partnership with. Or maybe they sell a product that you really like. Is this getting the wheels turning, or do we need some more examples? Let me know in the chat. So as far as when you're creating offers, or when you're thinking, gosh, I just really need some more money, always go back to this diagram. And I really recommend that you all like make this diagram on a piece of paper and actually fill in bullet points. Start on that left side of like stuff that you're freaking stoked to do. What is that? Of course, it's photography and photographing families. We're all here on that baseline, but add as much detail and as many, bullet points as you can on that left-hand side. It can be literally anything. You guys know I've been talking a lot lately on Instagram stories about like getting ready and clothes and makeup and stuff. Like that has nothing to do with photography really, but it has to do with my brand values, which is parent-centered photography and parent-centered like self-care for moms especially. Like see how there's some overlap there, even though it seems unrelated at first. And then stuff people want to pay you money for, like any inquiries that you don't like, or that you're like, gosh, why do people keep asking me to do this, or whatever it is, you can put on that right-hand side. And then as you see it laid out side by side, I guarantee you will start to find some magic overlap in that center piece where you can, and this is where we're creating a brand and a business that is really immune to competition. And the whole idea of like, it's oversaturated, anything like that becomes completely irrelevant when you're working from this list, because it really does not matter what anybody else is doing or not doing, or that everybody is selling presets or whatever it is, because you're only working from this list of stuff you're freaking stoked to do and this sliver of stuff that people want to pay you money for. And of course, every hobby, every interest does not have to become an offer and does not have to become part of your business. But I also want to offer that it can be an ongoing experiment. It doesn't have to be that you know everything right now from the beginning. And if you're like, well, I know this one thing about my brand that I love, maybe that you are also like a parent-centered photographer, for example, then you can just start there. You don't need to have like five bullets for your brand or whatever it is. You can start with one and ask yourself about what types of offers and what types of struggles and pain points might come from that particular ideology. Okay. I don't think many of you struggle with this. But instead of asking people to support you during a hard time or during a transition time or whatever, ask yourself how you can support them. And when I say this also, I mean frame everything that you're doing in terms of how it benefits and what it gives to your audience. So if you're sharing images, you can be like, hey, I thought you could use some eye candy and a break from heavy stuff on the rest of the internet. Like, here's some pretty pictures. Or it can be, tied to your brand values again. Like we see, and I find that drawing a contrast can be really helpful. Like we see kid-centered family imagery everywhere, but I really want to do parent-centered family imagery, and thought that some of you out there might resonate with that too. If you are starting a print shop and sharing a print shop, you can frame it in terms of like, I thought you might need a little retail therapy and something to look forward to, a new piece of art for your walls. Like, see how that is centered on your client and your customer versus like, I need another stream of revenue, so I'm starting a print shop. If you're sharing a link for like the Love Soaked course, like they are stuck at home, anxious to work on their business, you've got a way for them to do that doesn't require them to leave their house, and it's going to change their photography forever. Whatever it is you're sharing, frame it in terms of how it's helping your people. Okay, so let's talk about filling a revenue gap if you are making a big price jump. I want you to figure out exactly how much money you need to make. Like so often we're like, I just need to make money. I need to make money. I need to make money. Figure out exactly how much. And if you are not in the position where you absolutely need to make this money during a specific period of time, I still think it's a valuable exercise to give yourself a number that you would like to make during a specific period of time. So maybe it's the next 6 months. And when you're thinking about how to fill a revenue gap from, a price increase that like we talked about a few weeks ago, higher ticket offers are always going to be easier. They're harder emotionally, right? But they are easier from a math standpoint, right? Because you're not piling on tons of work to do it. You're not having to. You can make $1,000 by charging one person $1,000 or by charging 1,000 people $1. And charging 1,000 people $1 is going to be 1,000 times more work than charging one person $1,000. You with me? So this could be mentoring sessions that are an entire day with you. It could be a family photo multi-session package that's like a one-time thing that you only need to sell 3 of those packages versus needing to sell 15 photo sessions at your new higher pricing that you're like, I'm not sure where those 15 clients are going to come from. Everyone has super fans. You all have super fans that are ready to pay your highest price, whatever that is, they want it. So if your highest price thing is $950, that's your ceiling. But if your highest price thing is $5,000 or $10,000, whatever it is, that's the ceiling. If you don't have a $10,000 offer, no one can pay you $10,000. To me, when I realized this, I was like, this is mind blowing and earth shattering, but like so obvious at the same time, right? So is there a family in your world, in your sphere of influence, who would love to pay you a $10,000 for a maternity session, a newborn session, and a 1-year milestone session, or a 6 months and 1-year milestone session? You have to, figure out what makes sense as far as what to include in the package. But is there one family who wants to book a $10,000 package for all those shoots for their child? I would say yes. I would argue yes. And to create that $10,000 package is like such minimal work on as far as logistically what you need to do. All you need to do is create a little sales page with payment plans so that you offer them that package in installments instead of one payment of $10,000, right? That's all you need to do. Whereas if you're trying to charge, I don't charge 5,000 people $100. Wait, I don't know. My math is off, but you get where I'm going with this. Higher ticket offers are always going to be easier. All you'll need to do is get over all the mental crap that's going to come up when you start thinking about charging those higher ticket prices for different offers. So the thing that I want you to do at this point is be very clear with yourself with your goal. Is your goal to fill a revenue gap while you're navigating a price increase? Or is it to set your business up for more sustainability? Or is it to venture into another topic or genre, or just to see what you can do? This is the other fun thing about business, is that it gets to be whatever you want. Like, you can create an offer just because you think it'll be fun. Like, I'm thinking about creating an offer around this whole like getting ready, clothes and makeup thing, just because I think it'll be fun. And it doesn't have to be like all about how is this going to fit into my business in 10 years or 20 years. Like, you can do little projects. A project mentality is way fun, in my opinion. And for a lot of us who are creative types who have like bright shiny object syndrome, it can be really supportive of our nature to work in a project-based mentality, so that we can do one thing and be done with it and not have to ever do it again if we don't want to do it again. So right now, I would like you to take a minute to write down, and it could be a computer or a notebook or whatever you have handy. Write down what your aim and intention would be. Is it to fill a revenue gap? So as we go through all the ideas that I'm about to throw at you, you know what filter to set them through. So is it to fill a revenue gap while you are going to navigate a price increase? To set your business up for more sustainability, like you just want more streams of revenue so you're not completely dependent on shooting? Or is it to venture into another topic, have fun, be in a project-based mentality, just see what you can do? Those are kind of the three buckets. So go ahead, and if there's something else that comes to mind, feel free to write that down. But I'm going to give you guys just a couple minutes so that you can actually write something down. I see a lot of people still writing, so go ahead and just maybe give me a thumbs up when you're good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. So, as we go through these revenue ideas, please always refer back to your Venn diagram. And I would love to have some time at the end where we can workshop some ideas that you might have for different streams of revenue, and talk to you individually. So, revenue ideas. Of course, you can do mini sessions and sort of like shoot-centered revenue increasers or builders. Mini sessions are a great way to go if you're ready and able to put a little bit more effort into something upfront. So mini sessions can be with a theme. They could be for Valentine's Day. They could be because it's Beyonce's birthday. They can be based on a color, like pink mini sessions. I mean, whatever you want to do. It can be based on a concept, anything that you want to try that's outside of the norm of what you do. Mini sessions can be a great way to explore that. And it can even be like just 3 mini sessions back to back. It doesn't have to be that you shoot 10 or 15 or however many you've shot in the past or you think you should. Like, it can be any number. So trust yourself on what feels good with mini sessions if you're attracted to that idea from a revenue building standpoint. But if your minis are inside the norm of what you do, if you're like, okay, well, now my full sessions are priced starting at 1,000, and I just want to be able to get people in the door for less. And I've had, many sales calls where people are telling me like they just can't afford it. I would like to really serve those people. If your minis are inside the norm of what you do, meaning they're just like a mini version of a full family session, and they're on location, then people just need an incentive to book. The easiest and I think best way to do this is time sensitivity. So this is that you tease up until the point where you're going to do a sort of launch of your mini sessions, and you're gonna share like, okay, I'm about to open my spring mini sessions, and make sure that people are on the email list. That's how you can build your email list, start through Instagram, whatever, have them just sign up through your website for email list, and let them know that these mini sessions are first come, first serve. There's only going to be X number of spots. A time sensitivity that way is one way to do it. You could also inflate the price and do a discount for the first X number of people that book, or the first 24 hours if you want to do it that way too. If you don't know how many people are going to book, if you've never done mini sessions before. So say that your session fee for mini sessions is 200, or that you're thinking you want it to be 200. I would say the regular price is 250. Those who book within the first 24 hours get the session fee for 200. You can also do a special bonus if they are booking these particular mini sessions. So maybe they get something low cost to you, high value to them. So maybe it's a free 8x10, maybe it's a free framed 8x10, maybe it's a calendar, maybe it's, whatever photo product you want to include, you can definitely add that as well. But it's going to add, an extra layer for you. So that's why I like to do time or price sensitivity. Time or price scarcity is another way to say it, because you're not adding an extra thing for you to do. Questions about like mini sessions in just like the very small way that we've talked about them right now? Anybody thinking of doing mini sessions for a revenue building venture? Go for it.
I'm just thinking of mini sessions. Hi.
Hi, Rosie. Welcome.
Because I finally am able to like stand more, but I can't stand for long periods of time. So like even just hour sessions are long. And so I don't think I can do like mini session day, but I can do mini sessions in general where I've had a lot of requests actually recently, because like my newborn moms want like, they're growing up, they're a month, they're 2 months, they're 3 months. Can you come swing by and do? So I'm thinking of doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
Or I would never normally do it because I find that, it's travel time or whatever, but for right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything that you are not normally doing that you're doing like as a limited thing is another way of building scarcity. And I know that's never necessarily the goal, but I'm just saying you can maximize on that. Like, hey, I don't know if you have you announced your pregnancy or made that public, Rosie? Is that something
yeah, I'm almost there.
Okay.
I'm getting into my 5th month almost. And so I feel much more, and I'm showing now, but I'm at that point where I'm ready to announce and also ready to start talking about really what's going on for me. I haven't been on Instagram at all because I just, for a lot of different reasons, but
of course. Yeah. So it doesn't, I'm just asking in terms of like packaging these offers, but you can do it any way you want. It can be that you announce the pregnancy and you announce your mini sessions alongside that. Like, I'm so excited to be able to offer these. I never, ever would usually be able to do this, but I'm so excited to do it for my clients right now during this special time in my pregnancy and in your lives. Or, I mean, you don't have to announce the pregnancy. You can just be like, I've opened up the easiest way to do this, you guys, from whatever offer you're creating, I've opened up X number of spots for these mini sessions. I'm going to like the doors are actually going to be open for you to book a mini session spot on this day. If you want to be first to be notified, get on the email list. Email list peeps get first dibs, and then build the email list first so that you release the offer via email first. Always via email first. But anything that you aren't usually doing is a really great marketing standpoint way to maximize that. Cool. I think we had some other questions. Michelle?
Yeah, sure. So my question was just how you account for, like, would you recommend doing them still in people's homes? Because then, you know,
No.
you're traveling
No.
a lot, like so short, you know? So like
no mini sessions at home unless you're Rosie. Unless you want to travel to and from and all of that. Like there's no reason to do a mini session at home, in my opinion, because it's so much work.
So is that something that you would just do like outside if the weather's good, or?
Yep, I would do them outdoors or at a studio. The only other way that you could do a mini session, and this can work great, is if it's people in your neighborhood and you want to do them for people in your neighborhood. And it's literally like you going house to house. A lot of photographers have found great success with that. Like if you wanted to, if you're brave enough to knock on neighbors' doors, I think that's a great way to do it. If you like your neighborhood and you like, you're interested in photographing people that live right around you, that can be a really great way to do it. And just say like, hey, if I have 4 people that are interested, I'll do, a day of mini sessions, and here's like how that would be set up, and let people know. That's a great way to do it. But I would, the more like traditional way would be a studio or an outdoor location and opening up like a set number of spots for that.
Cool. I like the neighborhood idea.
Yeah, cool. And it doesn't have to be your neighborhood either. Like you can feel free to drive to a different neighborhood that you're like, gosh, I wish I lived in this neighborhood. I'm gonna go like find just one person in there. And you can even do like, if any of you do have a specific neighborhood that you really want to target, you can use the geotagging in Instagram to find any posts that have been in that neighborhood or in that location. You can even do it with hashtags if anybody has tagged like that neighborhood, or like at particular spots like restaurants or shops that are in that neighborhood, that and see what posts have been done at that shop, and see if the rabbit holes that you can go down that that you can find local people through that. And I definitely think that is a better way to go than just like knocking on doors in a random neighborhood. Your own neighborhood is a little different, but if you have a target neighborhood, using Instagram and the geotagging and everything like that would be much better. Same with any of you who are trying to build a business in a new place, using the geotagging feature to find specific local people to follow and share about is a really great way to build that. And we can talk a lot more about building your clientele and everything as we go, but that's just a little tidbit right there. Cool. Erica, did you have something?
Yeah, I had an idea for a mini session. So this is totally a different medium, but to announce my pregnancy to family, I did a watercolor portrait of just
Cool.
like combined a few different photos together, and I just drew myself pregnant. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I hadn't done it before.
Cool.
And I had thought about, I've just been painting a lot since we've been here because I have no other work to do. I thought about offering like mini sessions where it would also like include a watercolor family portrait, maybe help me get like an Etsy shop set up to kind of fill in some revenue gaps.
Cool.
But since that is a lot of work, like photos and the watercolor, I was thinking like 500 for a price. And I don't know if that's like too much for my mini sessions, but if I like were to word it like, this or like people typically spend over $1,000 because $1,000 is like my middle package medium for the time being, which I really hope to raise, but yeah, it would still be kind of like the halfway point.
Okay. I think it sounds like you really just want to like get some people going and get like some people in the door. So I would say like this is just make it very clear that this is a one-time thing and that
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
like X number of spots. So maybe like 5 spots or less.
yeah, yeah. That would
Because you know how long those take you.
Mhm.
I would also, yeah, so just be like super clear. Hey, I'm brand new here and I'm so excited that I'm offering something that I probably will never ever offer again. And I'm super stoked about it. And yeah, definitely do that that value anchoring where you're saying like typically this package, like a similar package would be X amount. But if you're ready to book in the next, you know, when these mini sessions open on X date, it's going to be Y, and it's going to include the family watercolor.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a great
Yeah, I
project.
think it would be something that would like bring me joy and something like
Yeah,
special to do that would be
totally.
outside of the norm of what I would
Yeah,
normally do. Because like you said, yeah, I'm not gonna offer that again because it's a lot of
yeah,
work.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so like again, just positioning it in terms of how it's benefiting them and how exciting it is that they get this, as opposed to like, I'm never gonna offer this again because it's a ton of work. Like I know you're not gonna
Right.
ever like say that specifically, but people don't care. They don't care how much work
Yeah.
whatever it is for you. They care like what value you're offering to them. And so I would, if I were you, I would start with like sharing that watercolor that you did to announce your pregnancy and just be like, I had so much fun doing this. Would you ever be interested in something like this for your own family? Yes or no, just pull on Instagram.
Okay.
And I mean, you're gonna get more yeses than nos most likely, but
Yeah.
it's just like a fun way to sort of tease it and to get people interested in like thinking about that idea versus just like out of nowhere we're offering a mini session with this watercolor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. And also I would for you, Erica, too, plug into any like hashtags or groups or anything that are about like Hawaii supporting local, because I think
Okay.
that's a big thing, especially for your area, like shopping local,
Yeah.
supporting local artists, that kind of thing.
I'll have to add that to my little note of copy and paste hashtags.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like some like Hawaii shop local, Hawaii shop
Yeah.
local, North Shore,
Yeah,
whatever.
no, it's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be because again, that's going back to people don't buy things, they buy how they want to feel. And so if it's important to them to shop local, not necessarily because it's important for them to shop local. It's important because they want to feel the way that
Yeah.
shopping local makes them feel. Does this make
Yeah.
sense?
Right.
Like they want to feel like they're supporting the community. They want to feel responsible and you know, contributing. They want to feel communal. What are those feelings that they want to feel? And then you can reverse engineer the hashtags based on that.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Let us know how you go with your offer.
Yeah.
And so anytime you guys are offering something,
I'm here.
do that lead up with Instagram stories that are like either a poll or just like, hey, I'm really excited. I'm working on something. If you want to be the first to know, here's an email drop. Collecting emails, building hype. It can be even just your own, your regular emails that you're sending and just a PS, stay tuned. I'm working on something extra special that I'm probably never going to offer again. Keep your eyes peeled. It's dropping next week. Whatever it is, you just need to tease and build anticipation, even if it's mini sessions. Yeah. Okay. Anything else on mini sessions before we move on to other revenue ideas?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you do if you schedule mini sessions and they don't book out? Like you get half or and it's really not worth it. Is that just a risk you take,
Oh, you
or
can cancel them. You can cancel them. Totally. Yeah. It's your business. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. So if you haven't ever done mini sessions before and you're worried that they're not going to book out, I would put like a little thing on the sales page of like, you know, like 8 slots must fill or whatever, however many slots must fill. And then let people know like that if you do have to cancel it, you cross that bridge when you come to it. Cool. Okay, so I have like 79 more revenue ideas for you guys. Are you ready for this? You can pitch brands for a collaboration lifestyle shoot. If you want to photograph a certain family, that family can't pay you, can a brand pay you? The solution doesn't need to be you don't get paid. The solution can be who else has money that would like to see this shoot come to fruition. It can be a kids clothing brand. Definitely look local for local little shops that you would love to support. Reach out and ask them, hey, I'm a local photographer, love your work, love what you're doing. What are your needs in terms of photography right now? Like, what are you looking for in terms of photography? I just did this with Allison Ames, if you guys know them. And we're gonna do a shoot because I asked them what they specifically needed. Not necessarily like, hey, I would love to collaborate with you, but just ask them, what are you looking for and what do you need for your photography, for your Instagram, for your website, whatever it is for right now. I would price those smaller brand collaborations. You can price them similarly to your family sessions with in terms of the price point, and just include web use only. And that's really mostly all they want is like social media use. And then if they want to add print use or things like that, you can let them know that that's like that's an additional fee. But if you just want to shoot and they just want social media use, I think it's a really great win-win. You can write for publications. Several publications pay their collaborators. I write for Adorama regularly and they pay. I can give you guys, we're going to have a whole class on getting published and what that will do for your business. But if you want to write for a publication, Adorama is a great one to start with as far as ones that pay. You can make an Amazon storefront, make your own Amazon influencer storefront, put all your gear in there and put that in your Instagram, your email, let people shop your gear. People love that kind of stuff. And then you get a commission from Amazon on your gear. So let's talk about revenue ideas as far as teaching. Anybody interested in having a teaching aspect to their business? Let me know in the chat. So the benefits of having a teaching aspect to your business is that it can become an autopilot revenue and it can be independent of shooting. It can establish you as even more of an expert in your field, establish you as the go-to person in your even in your geographical area if you are generous with education on photography topics or any other topics. We're going to talk about topics in just a second, but the starting point that I would recommend is use what your audience has said they're struggling with. Like, remember that poll that we were doing about, hey, what are you struggling with and how can I help? Use those pain points, use what they're struggling with to get ideas for what you want to create. And the biggest key here is that you're going to pre-sell it. You're not going to create a huge course and then put it out and hope that people buy it. We don't want you doing like tons of work up front and then having nobody buy it and just being like, oh, that was such a waste. I want you to make sure that you're getting money for the work that you're doing, not doing tons of work and then not getting any money for it. So you can say like, we're going to kick this off in 2 weeks. So if you say, hey, what are you struggling with and how can I help? And people are saying something like, well, I really want to take great photos of my kids, but they just don't want to listen to me. Maybe you want to create a little mini course around how to get your kids to listen to you for family photos as a mom on your phone, whatever it is. And then as you're developing this, you can just ask people on Instagram or email or both again, hey, would you be interested in a little course, class, whatever you want to call it, that teaches you how to get your kids to listen to you for when you want them to take a photo with you, for you. Just yes or no. And then you can ask questions and all kinds of things on Instagram about like, what do you struggle with when it comes to asking your kids to be in photos for you? What's the worst part about X, Y, or Z, whatever topic you're sort of landing on. And then as you're asking these questions, asking these polls, all those kinds of things, you're building anticipation and you're also building expertise, because you can answer some of those questions as you in Instagram, or you can, compile them into your class. And your class doesn't have to be, it can be whatever you want. We're going to start gelling those ideas together. But what I recommend for an introductory launch model is 5 weeks of live teaching that you do for whatever class it is. 5 weeks or modules, like pieces of what you are going to do. You're going to work out the kinks as you teach it live, and then you're going to teach it live one time, and that's it. And then you can record that content finessed after you've answered all questions, really tested it all out, made sure that you're going to be able to get people the result that they're after and that you're after. And then you can make it a standalone course and sell it in perpetuity forever and ever. And every time it's Black Friday, or you just need an extra hit of income, you throw your course on sale and watch the money roll in on autopilot. So when you're thinking about a course or a teaching element, start with a pain point. Do not start with a topic. Do not start with like, oh, I'm interested in film photography. Maybe people are interested in film photography. Their pain point related to film, like wanting to get into film photography, is they've looked at the YouTube tutorials and they're still confused. They are scared of the YouTube tutorials and they want you to walk them through it. If you're going to do like a photo 101, how to use your big camera, what's the pain point behind that? The pain point behind that is they spent all this money on this big camera and they're scared to use it, or they're still using it on auto and they're not getting the best results that they otherwise could. How to get great photos of your kids on your iPhone. What's the pain point behind that? They're taking photos on their iPhone because it's the camera that's with them all the time, but they're not that excited about those photos, and so they never print them, they never share them, and they feel like they're losing out on their kids' childhood. How to make emotional family videos on your phone. What's the pain point there? They don't know how to make those videos. They feel like they don't have time. Not knowing how money and time are going to be your biggest like pain points and hangups that you will address in selling and pre-selling your course. It can be something, if you want to talk to other photographers, it can be how to get your first 5 photography clients, how to get your photography business set up, how to dress for every family shoot you'll ever have. Like, so thinking about this one about how to dress, for example, like we've talked about how to get, that a lot of you, that's your freebie, and that's great. But if you love the idea of talking more about how to dress for a family shoot and how to dress for every single family shoot they'll ever have, what's the result that you're getting them? You're getting them that confidence and peace of mind, and saving them tons of time and energy trying to figure out what to wear for all their people every single time they have a photo shoot. And also, you'll make the price fit the result. So that sort of peace of mind may be worth, like, maybe it's a $29 offer, maybe it's a $47 offer, whatever it is. Not every offer that you have has to be high ticket, is what I'm trying to say there. And then again, go back to your Venn diagram. Please always go back to your Venn diagram where you have that little overlap. That's something that only really you can teach, or why the way that you're teaching this, like a photo 101 and how to use your big camera, like any one of us could teach that class. but why is the way that you would teach it different than the way another photographer would teach it? And so why you? And why them? Maybe you're going to teach them how to use their big camera in 30 minutes. And so they're going to be able to have those results and get their big camera going in 30 minutes. Maybe it's that you're going to do it all focusing on indoor light and indoor setups. More important than the topic of your course is the result that you're able to help people attain. So I hope that we, I don't know if we'll have time today, but I'm really wanting us to have time to workshop some ideas. We will. We're going to have like time to workshop a couple. So when you're thinking about revenue, please think about selling as a service, because it is a service. So many of us feel like icky when it comes time to sell, but we are selling all the time. We're selling ideas all the time. We're selling our viewpoint of the world all the time whenever we interact with other people. So just poll your audience, ask about their struggles, and then ask again and again. Ask what course titles they are more attracted to and more interested in. All people want to be a part of creating something. They want to be part of the behind the scenes. When you come out of nowhere and you're like, here's this thing, I made it in secret without you, here it is, don't you want to buy it? People are like, what? Where did this come from? It's totally out of nowhere. And even if they want it, it's gonna take them a little while to figure out why they want it. But if they're a part of that creation process all along the way, even if it's just one or two, Instagram polls a day for like 5 days while you lead up to your launch, then they're going to feel like they're part of it, and they're going to feel so much more invested when they see it come out as a final offer. They're going to be like, oh, I helped make that. Like I'm interested in that. And when you know the result that you're helping people attain, selling is easy, and it's in service of them, because you're not convincing them to buy something that they don't need. You're offering them a transformation that they really desire. They really desire that transformation, whatever it is that you're providing. Okay. Who's got some ideas that they want to workshop? I'm so excited about this. Oh my gosh. It can be about teaching. It can be just any other revenue, Venn diagram overlaps that you're interested in pursuing. Talk to me. Liz.
Sorry, I'm really slow. Someone just mentioned to me, and I have never even considered this, but because I sent her my freebie, or I asked her to join my email list or whatever. And she was like, oh my God, I could have used this because I had to make a video for my adoption process.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, but I don't know anything about it. So I'm going to talk to her more about it to see sort of like what that would be. But I was like, oh, that'd be really neat. And I feel like I would feel good. I'm sure people have to get photos of themselves and videos of themselves, but I'm not familiar with what they have to do. So I'm going to find out more from her. I mean, I know that's more standard. It's more like a service, but maybe there's a DIY version of it, like do your own thing, or I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Is that something that's interesting to you though? Like helping people with their adoption?
Yeah, I think it would be neat. It's not like it's not sort of a client that I've thought about. So I think I have to, I know a couple of people who have adopted, and it's not something that I've really looked into, but I would love to look into what people do, and, maybe what the pain points are with that, and then find a little more out about it. So yeah, I think that'd be neat. I think it would give me warm fuzzies to do it.
Yeah, I love that idea. And I think it's good for you because, probably there are people who are adopting with that already have kids, but a lot of times they don't have kids yet, or they have one. So your vibe of just, we want to keep as minimum of people as possible for Liz as possible. I think it's a good fit that way. So what I would do, Liz, is I would approach this as a project mentality, meaning I'm going to, like you said, do some research, look into this, look into what they have to do, maybe think about how I could potentially help with that process. With your unique combo of photo and video skills, I think that's really special. And you could either, and we can structure it many ways. Like my brain is going crazy with like, you could have the DIY version that's sort of a course or like a standalone, breakdown of everything that needs to be done and how they can do it themselves. And or you could also have like the done for you version that you do for them that's a premium cost. Or it's like you have this DIY version and some of those proceeds go to like partnering with somebody else, like some other adoption centered business or nonprofit or whatever, that where you can provide like one shoot per year to a family that is in need in that situation. Like there's so many directions this could go. So think about it as a project in terms of like, I'm just pursuing this for right now, and give yourself like a stopping point, I would say. So like a research phase that ends when, like, give yourself an end date for the research. Maybe it's just that you talk to those 2 families that that have adopted and ask them what they had to do, find out if the requirements are different state to state, that kind of thing. And then figuring out if you want to create an offer based on your research. And then we can kind of take it step by step from there after you figure out if you want to do an offer or not. But that sounds like an exciting road to go down. Cool. Okay, Michelle. Okay, yes, leaning into and accepting being photographed and getting in the photo. Love it. So Michelle, tell me more about what you would want to do here with this.
I'm not really sure. That I was writing stuff down and that was just kind of something that came to my mind.
Yeah.
Like it's something that like I've experienced, and I've kind of like had an evolution of like going from not wanting to be photographed at all ever, like period, to like being a lot more open to it and like wanting to be in my family pictures more. And like wanting to be part of those memories that are captured instead of it always just being like me taking pictures of my husband and kids. And so I don't know if there's like a way, I don't know how it would work in like a course setting, I guess, but just like maybe tips on how you could start to get in the pictures or like open your heart to like being willing to, I don't know.
Yes, I love it. So for this, I think that it would be a really great starting point. And for probably most of you, unless you've already taught on specific topics and you know what you like, a great starting point is to just talk about this. Talk about your own experience with it. Share about it on Instagram, share about it via email, share like those tips, ideas. Basically act like your platforms are a media outlet in which you would disseminate these ideas. So you're going to share what you just shared with us, like that you've had a journey with this. What has that journey been? How did you go from, because you've had a transformation in this topic. You used to not want to be in pictures at all. Now you're doing your own self-portraits. Like this is a big gap. So you're speaking to these 2 women who are currently here. They don't want to be in any photos. So how do they get here? Now, that transformation can happen via a payment, like a transaction, but it can first start with just like you sharing, here was my transformation. Here's my story. What questions do you have about this? Asking people to just engage and have a dialogue with you about that. And then it will start to become clearer and clearer what the potential offers might be around this. Because maybe this is something that people want to pay for to have a transformation, or maybe it's a brand and ideological rallying point that they're like, okay, I don't want to be in photos at all. I want to hire Michelle to do my family photos because she gets that about me. And they resonate with your you putting that out as a brand aspect. So that's where I would start. Definitely start with just sharing this aspect of your story, Michelle. And I think it's going to be so, so powerful. Yay. Okay. Oh my gosh. I have so many more that I want to. We are going to pick this up next week with, so bring your ideas, bring your questions, bring your thoughts and sticking points as you're thinking about adding other streams of revenue to your business. It can be teaching, it can be anything else that we talked about today. This was a big, meaty one. So maybe come back to notes, give yourself some time to process and gel, and we will come back and start with this next week. And I'm here for you in the group as well, if you need. Big hugs, guys. Have a great week. See you next time.